Okay, Instagram frequently asked questions from the group. If you're doing follow on follow, yeah. So if you're doing follow on follow, it's best to use 3 accounts per phone, nothing more. What we kind of found is if you start doing 4 or 5 accounts per phone, which is like the 5 accounts is the limit on iOS. If one account got blocked, we would find all 5 accounts get blocked. So it's just, that doesn't happen so much on 3 accounts, is literally what we found. We tested this across 10,000 Instagram accounts, so we had a pretty huge data set, and it was pretty obvious. So that's why we do 3 accounts per phone. Someone talking about purchasing Instagram accounts. So I think it's a really, really good idea. I've heard of people having a lot of success with this. It's quite hard to monetize, at least it was. It was quite hard to monetize adult traffic. So you can get huge audiences on like these female promotion pages, much cheaper compared to pages of a similar size, because anything adult is kind of considered kind of low quality. Yeah, I hear a lot of people having success with this, and purchasing these adult pages, and potentially you turn it into an OnlyFans agency page where you promote your agency and promote your girls on, or you could turn it into an OnlyFans promotion page in and of itself for just promoting your girls, or you could buy adult pages and give them straight away to your new models when they sign up. So a strategy is going to be a strategy for someone who's slightly more like well funded, but I do hear of good results coming from this. Talking about Instagram Mother Slave. So yeah, Instagram Mother Slave takes a minimum of 2 weeks basically for us to just set up and warm up the accounts. And even then, like the thing about Mother Slave, like if you're doing this yourself, the thing to be aware of is you're going to need 2 to 3 weeks to even get the account set up and profiled, and they're going to be a very low follow account. But then what starts to happen is once you build up trust and authority on the accounts, and once you start building up the social proof and the size of the accounts, it increases trust. If you imagine, if we're promoting a girl that has like 20 followers doing follow on follow, it's going to be quite a low follow back rate. You can look into buying followers. Like personally, I prefer to grow the accounts organically. But then once we get them up to 500 followers, the follow back rate increases substantially. The click through rate on the links increase substantially. Everything just kind of compounds. Then once we get them past the 1,000 follower mark, or the 2,500 follower mark, at that point, once we it's just a compounding effect every single month. The follow back rate and the number of clicks that we receive just can continue to increase. Once we have all of the accounts about 5,000 followers, they start to look like they are actually genuine profiles of the girl, and the amount of clicks that we receive just skyrockets essentially. Other great thing to mention that I really love about Mother Slave, I've mentioned this a few times before, but I'll just cover it again, is let's say you grow out 100 accounts all to like 5,000 followers each. That's a network of 500,000 followers that you own, that you can promote on, which is like its own has its own unique set of value in itself. So not only do you get all of the initial clicks when you're funneling traffic over through Mother Slave follow on follow, but you also benefit from owning like this huge network of accounts. Regarding staff, okay, yes, this is someone talking about how many accounts can someone manage. A member of staff who's working full time should be able to manage between 60 to 80 accounts in a shift. So yeah, someone was asking, they have a VA, and I said they should be able to manage 30 accounts in 4 hours. The difficulty with staff though, and the thing to always remember, is that you need a good targeting system in place. Otherwise, Mother Slave can turn out to be a little bit messy. Mostly because you need to isolate who you're targeting. You don't want the same accounts to be targeting the same profiles multiple times over. Number one, you're just wasting your actions, but number two, you also stand a chance of this guy realizes he's being targeted by the same girl multiple times, and he starts to think it's a scam, and he starts reporting the accounts. You lose accounts and you just end up in a big mess. So it's really quite important to kind of make sure that you're not targeting the same profiles, and that's all separated out. Someone here asking about Instagram automation. I have a very, very extensive background in. So I don't recommend you to use Jarvee or automation, to be honest. I know someone recommended Flock Social the other day as well. I know Flock Social pretty well. We we know the founders from one of my previous ventures. We were looking at implementing them as a solution. However, for Mother Slave, it will really get quite expensive, and it's not designed to be used in that way. It's not the perfect solution. For using on your personal account, perhaps to plug in your account to Flock Social isn't a bad idea. But to set up this type of strategy is not the right tool for the job. Jarvee potentially would have been a good tool. However, Instagram is just so tough on automation. I know this very, very well for a number of different reasons, but they're so tough on automation these days that it becomes not worth it, in my opinion, to set up Instagram automation on top of Jarvee. Jarvee's actually shut down now as well, but there's a few other similar tools. But in order to get those tools to work, you need to connect your main account. You need to be using a 4G proxy. That's 100%. A 4G proxy is going to be costing you about $50 to $90 per month, depending on the quality and where you get it from. So instantly, you have an upfront expense that is almost comparable to that of buying phones and paying a VA to manage it in-house. On top of that, for each account that you have, you probably need like 5 to 8 different accounts that are doing scraping on targeting, because you can't have the main account doing all of the scraping because it will get blocked for too much activity. So just to set up one account, you need like 5 to 8 other scraper accounts active as well to kind of share who that account should be following. And in my opinion, it's just and those scraper accounts will get banned. You'll constantly need to be like replacing them as well. You'll also get low action blocks on Jarvee as well on the main account. It's just a bit of a mess, to be honest. Like, it used to be absolutely fantastic. Like prior to Jarvee, like I was a very, very big mass planner user, and we could do about 1,500 to 2,000 actions per day on an account. This was about 9 years ago, but the game has changed. Like, it's nothing like it used to be. It's literally why I spend this money on mobile devices, and we go the long route of building our teams and setting up strategies, like Instagram Mother Slave being managed in person. Yeah, okay, this is a really, really, really good one. So someone talking about Instagram being the landing page. That is something that you should really understand. Instagram is the landing page for your OnlyFans profile. It's not OnlyFans, right? When someone is checking out your model, you know, you've sent over traffic from wherever, Tinder, Bumble, TikTok, Twitter, whatever it may be. When they're coming over to the Instagram page, that is where they make the decision of, am I going to click the link in the bio? Am I going to purchase this OnlyFans profile? You should have a large amount of emphasis. Like, my background is actually also in conversion rate optimization, which is the process of optimizing websites to increase the amount of conversions they generate, to increase the amount of sales that they generate. And as the OnlyFans marketplace has got more competitive, kind of a huge factor is actually the strength of your Instagram profile. So if you're pushing traffic over to an Instagram that has low followers, that's low activity, i.e. not many posts, no stories, no story archives, low engagement, low comments, just doesn't appear to be active, nobody is going, or like not nobody, but just a very low percentage of people are going to be clicking that link in the bio, let alone converting into being an OnlyFans subscriber. When the account looks fake, or it looks like its sole purpose is for promoting OnlyFans content, it looks like a sex worker account, conversions will just plummet. If you aren't able to get your model to create great content for Instagram, I would suggest buying some followers and just put the account on private. This is kind of like, I don't want to offer this as a solution, but if you really can't get a good Instagram in place for whatever reason, put the account on private, because at least that way they can't see like the low quality of your account. But yeah, it should be a real emphasis for everyone, and part of this module as well, I give like a breakdown of a good versus a bad Instagram profile, because yeah, that should be 100% a focus for everyone watching this. Regarding Instagram, someone here talking about how to do Instagram Reels and get them to appear in the US. When I answered this message, we had just started testing this, so we actually had a client that we took on, and we put together an Instagram Reel strategy, and we did absolutely everything. We had Verizon SIM cards on there. We used GPS coordinates. We had the proxy GPS coordinates and proxy location set to the US. I believe it worked and it had a positive impact. However, it does appear that Instagram's kind of Reels targeting is much more international. It's much more based on content. Whereas TikTok is kind of like geolocation focused. Wherever your SIM card currently is in the world, you will be seeing and you will appear to people in that specific location. Instagram actually appears to be much more international. And so when we actually had some TikToks go viral, not TikToks, some Instagram Reels go viral, not viral, but picking up, 400k plus views, it would drive in a load of followers, but they would be from like tier 3 countries. So setting up, no matter what you kind of do, at least from my experiments on Instagram, it's quite hard to get yourself to position solely in the US. I would still implement those things as well. If you are doing Reels, I would put GPS on there. I would use a US SIM card, and I would use a US-based proxy because it definitely doesn't do any harm. I think we did see some slight positive improvements. However, once a video starts to pick up a lot of traction and a lot of views, you kind of lose control. Like you literally have no control of where that's being promoted to. And we would often find when we picked up a ton of views, it would be in lower quality countries. Again here, kind of me talking about Instagram. So in order to get results from like Mother Slave, you should be doing like a decent number of accounts, like an absolute minimum of like 10 accounts. You need to spend some time warming up the profiles. We already covered this already, but again, just reiterating what I said before, it is a long-term play, so just remember that. Even like month 1, we're really not expecting anything. Like you'll see some clicks coming in like month 2. You'll see some clicks, but we're not expecting anything insane. But this is kind of more of like a 4 to 6 month play where, again, you have those compounding effects that we already spoke about, and that's what makes it a really interesting strategy. Someone asking here about where to acquire aged Instagram profiles from. It's hard to give you like a direct contact. Like we use multiple contacts for acquiring our accounts, and we often buy out everything that we can find. And then it's a case of waiting for something to come in stock. We find most of our contacts through like Black Hat World and other internet marketing forums, so that would be the place I recommend you to start looking in. Cost of the account really depends. We can pay anywhere from like $2 to $5 depending on the quality of the account, and the age of the account as well is going to be a big factor. For everyone here as well, I strongly recommend you to like scour the forums of Black Hat World as well. Some of the services that we see being offered in this space as well, such as like mass DMs, such as Twitter Mother Slave, like all this kind of stuff. Instagram Mother Slave as well. Literally everything. Like you can find providers for it on Black Hat World, often much cheaper. It has been an assumption of mine for a while that some people are just reselling services that they have come across on Black Hat World. So I 100% recommend everyone who watches this video to kind of check out Black Hat World for some of the marketing services as well. There's also some interesting marketing services on there for Reddit as well. So yeah, just a good community to be a part of. Someone here asking about Tinder bots. So yeah, we do manual swiping. Labor has always been very cheap, and it's never been the issue for us with Tinder. If you do want to use like a bot for Tinder, you can go through like the Google Chrome web store, and you can just search Tinder Swiper, and there's a few different ones in there that you can use. There are a couple of dollars up to like $10 per month to do swiping. However, the reason that we didn't use them is not because the issue that we always have and still do have with Tinder is accounts being banned. Like our labor is very, very cheap. We're paying salaries of about $300, so that's never really been the issue for us. The issue is getting accounts banned and needing to recreate them. So if you're in an expensive country, I suggest outsourcing the swiping, to the Philippines or to some cheaper part of the world where it brings down those expenses. You can definitely use a bot, but I think you stand a much higher chance of getting banned. So yeah, that was our reasoning there.